Now, as you know, in the art world, there's plenty of wacky, woke and highly questionable content around the place. Well, you've got to have a laugh and poke some fun at it, but taxpayers' money is often used to fund these projects. It's not so funny, is it? Take the Biennale of Sydney Festival, which this year is focusing on hydrofeminism, whatever that is. Hydrofeminism is a theme, plus non-human entities as living ancestral beings with a right to life. And, of course, lots of the usual climate activism. Joining me now is the director of the IPA's Foundations of Western Civilisation program, Dr. Bella de Brera. Thanks for joining us, Bella. Tell us about hydrofeminism, please.
Oh, gosh, you've started this interview with the most difficult question possible. I actually can't define it. I looked it up and it's really hard to work out what it is, which is the case for most of the things that are being talked about and performed and, you know, experienced by people over these 3 months of this Biennale, which I call a festival of woke. It is called Rebus, and it is designed to open dialogues with aqueous beings. It is asking questions like, will oysters grow teeth? What do eels think about? Do waterfalls have it in them to sort of defy gravity? You know, all these really crazy questions. It's an amalgamation. Sorry, I've messed up the word. It's a sort of combination of green activism, climate change, Gaia worship, social justice. A thing called multi-species justice, which is the idea that animals and rivers have to have their own legal entities, and it goes for 3 months. And you know, the worst aspect of it is that it is being passed off as art and culture. It's got nothing to do with any of that, and we are paying for it. Taxpayers are paying for it. It's 50% of its funding comes from taxpayers, which I think is 50% too much.
It is. Here was me hoping that hydrofeminism was some movement to make sure girls and women had their own shower facilities, but nothing quite so practical, hey? I've got to ask you.
Well, no, girls and women don't exist anymore, so you can't have that. We've cancelled girls and women. So
exactly. So how do they get away with the word feminism? It should be hydro something or otherism, I suppose, rather than feminism.
Oh, look, once you go down that rabbit hole, it's just never ending.
Well, the other thing is that the Sydney Writers' Festival is on again, I think, around about now. I think it might have just opened. But I know every time this comes around, and the other writers' festivals in other cities, Adelaide and the like, it's just always a list of the same old leftist voices, leftist commentators, leftist writers. It's just, there's a complete lack of ideological diversity. You know, all the ABC crowd, Barry Cassidy, Patricia Karvelis, Fran Kelly, Jane Caro, you know, Clementine Ford, you know, Louise Milligan, they all get up there and I think supplement their ABC incomes with some taxpayers' money for these festivals as well. But how about some debate?
Yeah, well, you're never going to get debate. And, you know, the irony of this year's festival is called Change My Mind. And, you know, I've made the point that no one attending this festival, no one running the festival, and no one sort of presenting at this festival will have their minds changed because they've already made up their minds. These people will not listen to any other opinions. They don't want to hear other opinions. So the whole thing is a farce. And, you know, it's not going to attract any books of any quality or anything that undermines or offers a completely different worldview. They have one worldview, it's fixed. This is what you're going to hear about at the Sydney Writers' Festival. In fact, you're going to hear about the same thing at all writers' festivals. So it's quite depressing, but it's very predictable as well. And
well, it is. And if they want to do that, knock themselves out. But not with taxpayers' money.
Just knock yourself out. But just stop getting us to pay for it. You know, we've just been hearing about the high inflation and the increasing pressure that is going to be put on all Australians in the coming months with the inflation and rising costs of food and transportation and housing. And this government, this supposedly conservative government, just keeps throwing money at these people and with just complete impunity, as if money's growing on trees. And it's infuriating. And it's the same thing every year.
It is indeed. Thanks for bringing it to our attention, Bella.
Thanks, Chris.
Dr. Bella de Brera there from the Institute of Public Affairs.